Hi guys, welcome to the 3D market commentary for today. Today is October the 21st. We are in spooky season, so hopefully the markets aren't spooky. I'm just going to put disclaimers up there on the top left hand corner, so please read them, not just for legal purposes but also to understand what you can expect from videos like this. My name is Becky, that's me down there. My email address is becky@tradictive.com. That is this one here. And there's also support@tradictive.com, which are two emails that you can use if you have questions. Now, another place to put questions, and actually a preferred place for us to put questions here, if possible, is this place, tradewithufos.com/Becky. Now, from this link, you can get apps for different platforms depending on what you use. You can book one-on-one coaching if you'd like, and you can also come down here and post questions publicly. Now, the reason that we'd rather you post questions publicly is because we can then answer them publicly and other people can come to this place to learn. So it may be that the question you have has already been put here and the answer is already there for you, or it may be that the question you have is new and therefore you're doing somebody else that favour later down the line to post it in this space. So please, ideally this is where you place questions. If not, you can email me if you'd rather do that. So, a 3D market commentary, what is it? Well, let me bring up this news flash. And then the market data, of course, that is relevant to. Now, we send out an email to our free members every day, Monday to Friday. That email is called a 3D approach or a 3D market commentary because what we're doing is we're looking at three separate elements of multiple markets. We look at 5 major markets, and for each of them, we look at 3 different things to help us understand where the probabilities lie, what the statistics show. So the first thing we look at is market climate, which basically means where are the probabilities? Is it likely to go up? Is it likely to go down? Or is it likely to not go anywhere? And therefore, do we go and buy? Do we go and sell? Or do we do nothing? We use a free app to help us with this. It's called AutoClimate. It's a free app on most platforms you can get it on. If you ignore the lines, just focus on the dots, that is what is telling us where the probabilities lie. So if we have a thick blue dot, like that one there, that tells us we have probability upwards. And if we have probability upwards, makes more sense to try and buy. If we have a thick red dot, that tells us probability is downwards, and therefore we should look to sell. If we have a thin dot of either colour, that tells us not enough probability, do nothing. Change time frame, change market. So the first thing we look at for each of the markets is where are the probabilities, up, down or nowhere, and we use an app to help us with that. Then we want to look at where should we be buying and selling. To do that, or to find that, we use another app called AutoUFOs. UFO stands for unfilled orders. Essentially what it's showing us is where are the buyers and where are the sellers. That's helpful because if there are lots of buyers, price is likely to go up. Now the buyers are these green UFOs, it's got the prices on the right hand side as well, that tell us between which prices we have a lot of buyers. Now if we have a lot of buyers and price were to come down and hit that big stack of buyers, likely to go up from there. More buyers and sellers in a market pushes it up. So knowing where those buyers are is helpful. Now, if we have red UFOs, they look something like this. And they'll have the little dotted lines, of course, that go out to the side. And they'll have red numbers on the side as well. The red ones show us where sellers are. And again, if there are loads of sellers, it's good to know where they are because if price hits all those sellers, it's likely to come down from there. So we want to know where are the buyers and sellers, and we'll look at that for each market as well. Now, let me just get rid of that for a second. The third thing we look at is market volatility. How quickly are these markets likely to move? So we look at climate, probability, up, down or nowhere. We look at buy and sell UFOs. Where are the buyers, where are the sellers? And we look at volatility, how quickly are the markets moving? So we look at that per market. We'll start with the S&P 500, which is the top 500 US stocks. We're looking at daily charts for each of these. So of course it's relevant to what's happening on a daily time frame, okay? So with the S&P, we have a confirmed upwards climate, a thick blue dot there on the auto climate telling us probability is upwards. Now usually the US stock market would go up for 9 candles, just rounding that up, and we're on candle number 5. So that tells us that we are still within what would be a normal move to the upside. So we've still got room to keep going up based on what usually happens. We have buyers beneath us here at 4479.75 to 4436.25. So if price were to come down and hit that stack of buyers, we'd expect it to keep going up from there. So overall, many different things pointing to the upside here for the S&P on this time frame. Now, in terms of volatility, we'd expect the S&P to go up or down in 1 year of 15.99%. So that means up or down in 1 day of 45.49 points. In a week is 100.14 points, and in a month 208.45 points. So overall with the S&P, probability up for the time being on this time frame. Now notice I'm saying things like probability, likelihood, statistically. That's not to say definitely. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. No one knows what's definitely going to happen, especially in the markets. What we do want to make sure that we do as traders though is go where the probabilities tell us. We still might be wrong, but we want to have less chance of being wrong, which is why we use statistics and probabilities and technology to help us with that. So next market is oil, crude oil. Now whilst I'm loading it, just to show you here, you can educate yourself with us. We do many different courses, stocks, futures, forex, backtesting, trading plans, psychology. Most of those courses come with a 3-month complimentary access to the apps. Now AutoClimate is a free app on most platforms, you can get it on anyway. But AutoUFOs is a subscription-based model where you can subscribe directly to them if you want. You can just go and get the AutoUFOs. You don't have to do a course to do them. You can just subscribe to them and see them on your chart, again showing you where buyers and sellers are. Most of the time though, if you get a course, it's actually cheaper to get a course and have 3 months free access to the UFOs than it is to simply subscribe to them. So check that out and see what works better for you. So coming back to oil, we have a confirmed upwards climate, thick blue dot there, probability upwards. Now, this is quite interesting because usually oil would go up for 7 candles. So just rounded that up again. And we're on candle number 21. So that means we've gone 3 times as far as what is normal in terms of a move to the upside. That's not to say that it's going to turn around today or tomorrow. It could keep going. Of course, we've already gone past what's normal and kept going past. So there's nothing to say that that can't continue to happen. But the further we go past what is statistically likely to happen, the less likely it is to happen, if that makes sense. So we do still have probability up, but just bear in mind that we are quite overextended. So it wouldn't be surprising to see it drop from here. Now we do have buy orders just beneath us, which are helping to keep price up. Those are between 82.18 to 74.96. Again, pushing price up at the moment. So overall, still probability up with crude oil. Not as much as we would ideally want, but still overall probability up. Now with volatility, we'd expect oil to go up or down in 1 year of 35.16%. So up or down in 1 day of 1.84 points. In a week would be 4.04, and in a month 8.41 points, up or down. So that's crude oil. Now the next market is gold. So let's just load gold. Now it says here at the bottom about coaching and support. We offer loads of coaching and support for free online on many different platforms. So by all means, check us out on there. We also have a small sort of closed coaching community where people pay a small monthly fee to have access to us for more time in that closed environment. So check that out if that is of interest to you. Otherwise, like I said, we do a lot of things for free. So with gold, we have a confirmed upwards climate, probability upwards, thick blue dot. Normally, gold would go up for 7 candles. Again, I'm rounding that up, and we're on candle number 2. So based on what usually happens, we still have room for it to continue upwards. However, we do have sell orders just above us here, between I think it's 1801.9 to 1787.6. They have already pushed price down a little bit. However, we do also have buy orders just beneath us. In fact, we're within them right now. They are between 1786 to 1760.3. So what we have at the moment is we have pressure to the upside from the climate. We have pressure to the upside from the UFOs, but we also have pressure to the downside coming from the sell side. So we have kind of 2 points to the upside, 1 point to the downside. So if you were going to call it, then you'd say overall probability up. For me, the fact that those sell orders are so close is something that I would keep away from. To me, it's too much of a risk to try and take them on, because we don't know if there are more sellers than buyers, and we know that there are lots of sellers there. So for me, if we were to call it, overall probability up, but for me, not enough, I would say, based on the fact that we have those sell orders there. Now with volatility, we'd expect gold to go up or down in 1 year of 15.27%. So in 1 day, that's up or down of 17.19 points. In a week, 37.84, and in a month, 78.78 points up or down. Okay, so that's gold. The next market is the US dollar. Now the US dollar is responsible for about 80% of transactions worldwide every day. So be aware of it. Whether you trade it or not, you should be aware of it. Now, interestingly, with the dollar, we have a similar situation to what we've just seen with gold, in that it's a different climate, but I'll explain in a minute. So we have a confirmed downwards climate with the US dollar, a thick red dot there, probability down. Usually goes down for 6 candles, and we're on candle number 6. So kind of come to the end of what would be a usual move to the downside. Now, we do have sellers right where we are now, between 94.175 to 93.49. We are within those sellers right now, so they're pushing price down as we speak. However, we do have buy orders right here, just underneath us, between 93.495 to 93.195. So again, we've got sellers pushing down from the climate, sellers pushing down at the moment with our sell orders, but buyers pushing up at the same price. So again, overall, if you were going to call it, you've got 2 points down, 1 point up. So overall, probability downwards. But the fact that we have buyers so close by, if they are more than the sellers, they're going to change things around. So for me, again, yes, if you were going to call it one way or the other, you'd say overall down, but not enough for me based on the fact that we have those buyers too close. Now with volatility, with the dollar, we would expect it to go up or down in 1 year of 5.01%. It's the least volatile market that we look at. So in 1 day, that's up or down of only 0.3 points. In a week, 0.65 points, and in a month, 1.35 points. So that's the US dollar. The last market, last but not least, is backed Bitcoin. So let's just load this here. Now, backed Bitcoin is, of course, newer than all of the other markets we're looking at, which means although we know we have a confirmed upwards climate, we have a thick blue dot, probability upwards, we don't know how long it would usually go up for, because it's not been around long enough. We don't have the data to say this is what usually happens or doesn't. So we're kind of in the dark there. But what we do know is that we have probability upwards here with Bitcoin. We also have buy orders beneath us, 62,627.5 to 60,060 even. That's where we have our buyers. We have no sellers above us. So we have, again, lots of things pointing there to the upside with Bitcoin. Now, in terms of volatility, Bitcoin is the most volatile market that we look at. We would expect it to move up or down in 1 year of 92.29%, which means in 1 day, a movement up or down of 3,865.69 points. In a week would be 8,509.92 points, and in a month is 17,714.82 points. So bear that in mind with Bitcoin, a little bit more volatile than the others. So come to the end of our markets, and for each of them what we've done is we've looked at the climate. Where are the probabilities, up, down or nowhere? We've looked at buy and sell UFOs. Where are the buyers and where are the sellers? That would look like this. Yeah. Where are the buyers and where are the sellers that could push price up or down respectively? And we've looked at volatility. How quickly are these markets moving? If you have questions on any of that, by all means, please email or post questions on the tradewithufos.com/Becky link. Now, one last thing before we round off is our weekly economic calendar. Now, we get this from FX Street, and what we look at, or what we filter by, is high impact news. Meaning what we want to know is when are scheduled news reports coming out that are likely to create a high impact in the market, meaning likely to increase volatility. Normally, the higher the volatility, the higher the risk. Can also mean the higher reward, but it's up to you to interpret whether or not it's worth it for you to do that. So today being Thursday the 21st, we have some news coming out later on in the afternoon, US time, on the Australian markets. So if you trade the Australian markets or trade the Australian dollar, be aware of that for later on today. Now, like I said, if you have any questions, please go to tradewithufos.com/Becky. From here, you can get apps just directly from here, and you can also book one-on-one coaching if you'd like, and you can come down here, log in and ask questions in public, so I can then answer them in public and other people can all learn from this area and this community. If you do have any questions and you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can email me. That's becky@tradictive.com. So that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow for the same thing, so I'll see you then. Like I said, any questions, please reach out, and hopefully you guys have a great trading day. Take care, guys.